I think I can answer that question. I think it's a tough one because I think culturally we think more, we're under the impression, the illusion that Miami is getting more cultured. I would go back to, and I am supposed to finish this book about Miami this year, which I don't know if I will, but there's that moment when Christo came here, I think it was '83, and he did this. That was a great show, by the way, at Penn, of his pink collars around those islands. The Pink House, which overlooked some of those islands, had been done and finished in '78, '79. So you had that period of pinkness. Suddenly Miami is not just drug wars and illegal immigrants and Cuban refugees. It's this other thing is happening. And kind of out of that moment of those two things, I think, which is really about urban pinkness, you had the first Art Basel. I can't remember when that started, but suddenly there's Art Miami, all these other things, but that preceded it. Miami's suddenly got this reputation, apart from sun tanning and swimming, of art. I'm not sure that's that important, but I think what is important and what's culturally relevant about this city is the way it's dealing with its, sort of poster child environmental crisis city. And that's getting very creative. And I think some people are coming in, but there are also people who are based here who've been thinking about it. Anybody who's studied the Everglades and these unique systems of, what they call sheet flow, the periphytons, this sponge-like stuff that grows and it keeps the Everglades moist during drought, and it feeds different animal species, and it creates habitat. And there are these sort of models that are sitting right here. We are in the Everglades, right? This is all was a swamp and will be again. And I think that's, to me, culturally, that's the most interesting aspect of the city. And I wish I'd done more in the Everglades. I've been invited a couple of times to do either talks or seminars with people who really, know the science of the Great Swamp. And to me, that I feel like I'm in a real place again, and not just this kind of la-la illusion of, it's hard to write. The reason I've taken this book about Miami I've been writing has taken so long is there is no there. There's no here. It's very difficult because you have people coming from all over the world, but suddenly they make a lot of money in whatever, oil or something, and they come in here and they have a fantasy of a place. And it started in the, probably turn of the century, but certainly in the 1920s. With all the Art Deco hotels and stuff like that. And then you just have these wave after wave of one guy going bankrupt and the next guy coming in and creating this fantasy, totally overlooking the reality of the environment and the way the place works. So that to me connects. I don't, to be brutally honest, I think the art scene here is, not that exciting. If you go to New York, you go to London, or Germany or the Netherlands, there's just, it seems to be much more solid. I don't think you need it here. I think the light and the water and the culture of that and the culture of the wetlands is just incredibly beautiful. It's hard to see. It's not like going to the Alps, it's pretty obvious, or the Grand Canyon, right? This is a subtle. I remember it took me days, maybe weeks, when I first started going to the Everglades to see it, to actually see it, these subtle gradations of color and texture that are incredibly beautiful and incredibly unique. And then you read, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas and David Fairchild, and those are to me, those are the poets of this place.